What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another SLA video. All right, guys, we did our testing for Igris last night. I want to say big shout out to everybody who showed up, donated, also was there. Thank you for the kind words. But we had a really rough summoning session on both the free-to-play account and the pay-to-win account. On my free-to-play account, I am completely broke now. Went through all of my tickets, went through all my Essence Stones, and we only got him to A4. He has been rough to get. And also, honestly, I know a lot of people are complaining about Sun Ki-hoon coming in here and just not being able to get him as well. That's just the reality of things, unfortunately. It is going to be really tough to get him in the custom banner. So just get ready for a little bit of a hurting, guys. This is going to be a very normal thing. The good side is he's going to be available pretty much throughout the entire session. The bad side is it's going to be really tough to get him through the custom banner. So this is my free-to-play account, but we're going to go over the testing and show you guys what happened with Igris, whether he's worth your time, whether he's worth pulling, and why I think he's going to be an amazing unit to have pretty much across the board for Dark. So I want to just preface this real quick. He's pretty much the Christopher Reed of Dark, right? As an infuser, he does very similar kind of damage. He's built very similar. He has a little bit different mechanics, of course, but overall, he's really. I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. He's a really expensive unit in regards to getting him to at least minimum A5. That's right, you heard me. To make him actually really shine, and we'll talk the reason why and what makes him very powerful and why he's a must-have unit pretty much for Dark at this point. So let's go over everything that we did yesterday. Let's go over the spreadsheet as usual while I'm summoning here and show you guys exactly what the results were. Let me just do this last one. Bad luck as usual. Okay, no problem. We'll take it. And let's talk about why Igris is somebody you want to definitely have on your team, especially if you're building a Dark team. Now, before I go any further with that, I want to remind everybody Content Creator Program is going on, guys. So make sure you log in, get yourself into the Content Creator Program, and we'll give you guys at least minimum to 5 to 6 codes to 7 codes even this season. So all you got to do is quickly hit that support button, get yourself in, and we're ready to rock and roll, guys. Everyone will have yourselves many chances to get codes, and it's absolutely free to join. It's always pinned to every single comment section and description. So shout out to everybody joining. J-Sto, thank you, my G, love you, bro. NID 1150, BW Panda, Pain Angel, Kevin, Turkatron, Ryan. I'll laugh at Turkatron because we were having fun last night at the stream. Mukuja, Manart, 49392, and Will Ram. Thank you guys so much for your support. I love you guys. My top 10 and everybody else supporting all the way up to the top 1,968. All right, let's go over the spreadsheet, guys. So we're going to talk about best gear, best cores, etc., what you want to equip on him, and go through all that jazz. All right, so first off, you guys can see my Igris here has roughly about, I don't know if you guys can see, I'll zoom in a bit more. So this is how we built him. We built him with 51k attack, just gave him fairly comparable armor. I didn't want to go insane and give him like the best armor I could possibly find because it would be hard to match that for you guys, but 51k attack, 50% crit rate with the crit rate core. The 10% crit rate core is what we use with additional attack and defense penetration. Defense pen is what you really need for him. We got 11.7k crit hit rate. Crit damage is 198. Could go 200, but I kind of stopped there. Defense pen was 38.46 and damage increase was 24%. So like fairly decent stats. Like we're not talking about over the top stats. So just to make it a little bit comparable. And then for the sets that we used, the ones we found best for him was armed and expert or armed and obsidian. That was the best, only because we really ran him with the guild boss, which requires a lot of defense pen. But I think overall, this is probably going to be the best set for him in general. All right, let's talk a little bit about results. A0. So you guys can see right here the numbers that we got. I used Sungil Hwan right now because most people will have him up. Many people don't have SM Beck up. Yes, SM Beck is great, but this is what worked from my account personally. So you guys can see in the beginning we used Sungil Hwan Mini. We used Igris, Sun Ki-hoon, and yes, this also does include Sun Ki-hoon testing, and he did use Greed a piece, and he also used Desire a piece, okay? So it seemed to work out that Greed worked a little bit better. Desire was actually pretty good as well, so very evened out. We have Lee Bora, and then we have Isla, okay? So this here, the team that the setup was Isla, Sungil Hwan, and then Igris, and then the second team was the rest. So it was a Mini, Sun Ki-hoon, and it was a Libora. Okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to think while I'm doing this. It's really early in the morning right now. All right, and then so you can see A0, we did okay. Numbers weren't great. It wasn't anything over the top. It was decent. But the moment you get him to A1, the numbers did double. All right. So we did A1 testing, and the reason why the numbers doubled is because Igris's buffs obviously start kicking in, and he becomes a little bit better of a unit, right? So if I go to Igris, for example, let's just find him here in the list. Where is he? There he is. All right, so if we look at Igris' skills, he does have a couple passes that make him stronger at A1, right? So at A1, when the flawless swordsmanship gauge reaches 50% or more, roll swordsmanship black flash and become a little bit more powerful. And then at the end of it here, he increases dark damage taken by the opponent, and it stacks up to 2 times by 10%, and dark overload damage by 10%, and then instantly restores his own HP. So this 10% bonus is pretty decent, and that's why we saw that double increase. All right, we skipped A2 purposely. Increases damage dealt to dark overload targets by 20%, and that's infinite because we knew that was going to be impactful. Instead, we went to A3 just to see what happens with his own damage. And if you look at A3 results, it does go up quite a bit, right? We went from 2.4 to 6.8, but at A5, it gets ridiculous. All right, so A4, you guys can see the damage does increase, or defense pen does increase, because every single team member that's dark that's on there is going to give him 3%, and every dark ally as well too. And then if you look at A5, that Scarlet Domination now becomes even more powerful. You can stack it 4 times and it becomes 40%. So 40% in total of dark damage taken, and then also 40% more dark overload damage taken. He also gets more HP recovery, and then also Zenith Sword now is added, increases dark overload damage dealt by 30%, increases defense pen by 10%, and increases attack by 15%, and this lasts for 30 seconds. So it becomes a very, very, very powerful skill, and you guys can see here with results that we got last time, he went from only 6 billion to at A5 29, outshining even Mini, right? So that is where you're going to see the results mostly. And you guys can see as I keep going here with Harper, the numbers looked a little bit similar. It wasn't that much of a difference between her and Sun Ki-hoon. So Harper is still really good, by the way. She's still very viable as a unit, but Sun Ki-hoon does give a lot of buffs, and we'll talk more about him afterwards. Okay, so you can see with Laura and SM Beck. So this is SM Beck in the team. Now, I did have a lower gear for SM Beck, and he wasn't on the right team, but you guys can see here he did do 30 million. We swapped it up a little bit. We gave SM Beck a bit. We kept the similar gear, but we gave Igris a little bit better gear, and he went up to 41. So you guys can see he pushed up to 41 billion, and then we did Sung Hwan at 92, and then again, sorry, let me go back here. That's Christopher Reed. Sorry guys, one sec. There he is. If we go down again, right there, you guys can see. Giving SM Beck a bit better gear, got 53 only, and then we pushed him to 79. So for my team personally, guys, this team worked out a bit better. I was able to hit about RC 120 with this team. And then you guys can see at the end, the ultimate setup here for Sung Hwan to do best amount of damage was this. The only difference I really changed here was just the little bit of gear. I gave Sung Hwan a little bit more attack, and he went up to 100 billion there. 34 respectively, and 32. So this is the best setup for my team personally, and Igris would make this all possible. Without Igris, none of this would be possible. Now, unfortunately, what that means is Minnie kind of loses her viability in this setup, and you don't really get a chance to use her. But if you can see here on the screen, I'll show you guys real quick. Let me just quickly put this at 1080. There it is. Okay, so you guys can see a couple of different things going on here. Number one, the debuffs, right? You guys can see the 4 stacks right there of debuffs on the opponent, making you hit that much harder during overload sessions, and then also allowing you to do way more damage. Now, I did auto ultimates. There were no manual ultimates done whatsoever on this. It was all auto. And Sian, Hilat, Igris honestly performed exactly how I expected, especially with the kit that he has. And honestly, Sun Ki-hoon also really helped a lot. We'll talk more about him afterwards and why it's difficult. But you guys can see the one thing I noticed is he does take a little bit longer to build his gauge. And yes, this was during the time where I did put all of my points from the library over to Dark to make it a bit better. Okay, so Dark definitely did shine here, but I did notice that he doesn't build his gauge quite as quick as Christopher Reed. His damage though is comparable to Christopher Reed's. I'd say they're very, very much on par as characters, as infusers specifically, and honestly, they do amplify the damage of Dark quite a bit. So all in all, here's what I'd say. In terms of cores, he really doesn't have MP issues, so you can do the crit one as the first one, additional attack, defense, penetration. Any of the defense ones are fine. Really, you don't have to worry too much about that one. And then if you want to put the purple one with defense pen, again, you can. Just make sure you stack them with defense pen as much as possible, right? So that's the main thing. And also, if you want to build him, that's fine. A lot of people have been asking, should I summon for him? My advice to you is this. In February, we have a water infuser. So if you have a really good water team, but you have a really mediocre dark team, my suggestion is wait for him to come out in the custom tickets and then summon for him there with Sun Ki-hoon. Obviously, that means you won't be able to summon for Sun Ki-hoon either, because it's much harder to get them through that, right? So my advice is you can also wait if you think that's better for you. But if you think it's better for you to summon right away and you have a good dark team, then he's a must-have. If you have a dark team, he's an absolute must-have unit to have on your team. If you don't have a dark team, then don't worry about it. I think you can personally hold off and start building a dark team over time and get him and Sun Cahoon together during the custom tickets. But it does require you to have to wait at least 2 months for him to join the custom banner. He's not a limited character, guys. He'll be there for sure. And there'll be other ways to get him as well. But if you have a dark team and you want to use dark to its full potential, he is an absolute must-have. All right, guys, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.